by side, living for the Lord and doing what's right, knowing my sins have all been covered by the great I am. No need to worry, fear, or care, for I know the Lord is always there. Let come what may, I'm on my way, I'm walking by faith. Sometimes I can't see what lies before me, and I follow Him into the darkest night. But every step I take, it draws me closer, and I won't turn around because I found that Jesus is the light, the light. I'm walking by faith and not by sight, living for the Lord and doing what's right, knowing my sins have all been covered by the great I am. I am, no need to worry, fear, or care, for I know the Lord is always there. Let come what may, I'm on my way, I'm walking by faith. Let come what may, I'm on my way, walking by faith.
Hosanna to the Son of David, cried the people as he came, riding on a borrowed donkey, throwing palm leaves in the way. I wonder if these were the same, crying, crucify the man. What a change they must have made, praising Jesus on that day to slay God's sacrificial lamb. Can we not remember? Can we not recall all that Jesus suffered for to save us all? Can we not remember Christ of Calvary? Hear the Savior asking, please remember me. Then we see Him in the garden, praying in Gethsemane, knowing of His crucifixion and the untold agony. I believe that when He prayed, you and I were on His mind, and the least that we can do is to live for Jesus, who died to save your life and mine. Can we not remember? Can we not recall all that Jesus suffered for to save us all? Can we not remember Christ of Calvary? Hear the Savior asking, please remember me. Hear the Savior asking, please remember me.
Here I stand beside this chilly waters, waiting for my final call. Standing by the river, looking beyond. waters rise and fall. Standing by the river, standing by the river, looking beyond, looking beyond. Standing by the river, standing by the river, waiting for the boatman, waiting for the boatman. Listening to the music, listening to the music on the other shore, on the other shore. I can hear the angels, I can hear the angels singing out a welcome, singing out a welcome. With my friends and loved ones, with my friends and loved ones who have gone before, gone on before. Shadows of the night are swiftly falling. Lo, I hear the boatman's oar. Standing by the river, standing by the river, looking beyond, looking beyond. Many are the voices sweetly calling. I must tarry here no more. Standing by the river, standing by the river, looking beyond, looking beyond. Standing by the river, standing by the river, waiting for the boatman, waiting for the boatman. Listening to the music, listening to the music on the other shore, on the other shore. I can hear the angels, I can hear the angels singing out a welcome, singing out a welcome. With my friends and loved ones, with my friends and loved ones who have gone before, gone on before. Standing by the river, standing by the river, waiting for the boatman, waiting for the boatman. Listening to the music, listening to the music on the other shore, on the other shore. I can hear the angels, I can hear the angels singing out a welcome, singing out a welcome. With my friends and loved ones, with my friends and loved ones who have gone before, gone on before. Standing by the river, standing by the river, looking beyond, looking beyond.
Good evening. Welcome to the Soul Winner Hour tonight. And I'm glad that you are with us this evening. And this Saturday is the 4th of July. So when we get to our trivia game, it's going to be patriotic themed. It's going to be our Patriot Edition. So I hope that you've brushed up on your facts about the states and facts about different things with our country. Because I've got some. Some of them are going to be easy. Some of them are going to be hard. But tonight, our program overall is special because we're going to be just kind of in two parts. We're going to start out here in just a minute with an interview with Preacher. We have him on the line, ready to go, and we're going to interview him from Thailand, and we have several questions here. I've got about 10 questions we're going to ask here this evening, so we're looking forward to get to that. Then as soon as we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and get right to the trivia game, the Patriot Edition. So I hope you got your thumbs warmed up. Hope you got a strong internet connection wherever you're at. And we're going to go ahead and get ready to get right into that. So this evening, let's go ahead and start. We will start with an interview. Before we get to that, if you like the video tonight, give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you like it. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon, and you'll get an alert every time that we go live. So there we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and get right to our interview. And do we have him on the line? Good evening. Are you there?
Yes.
Caller one.
Good morning.
Go ahead. Who is this? Oh, no, never mind. All right. And good evening. Or I should say good morning. I guess it's early for y'all there.
Yes, it's 6:04 a.m. on Friday morning, July the 3rd.
All right. Well, we are glad that you are with us. Hope you all have a good 4th of July planned and coming up. Brother
Yes,
Looper, can you give me a little more volume here? I know we don't want to pick up the back go, but I can barely
we're
hear you.
actually celebrating today.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow is ministry time, and here the 4th of July doesn't mean anything to these people. So we are actually some of the American missionaries are in this town we're in are having a 4th of July party this afternoon, like a cookout. So we are going to that.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's good. That's exactly what we're doing. We're having family over tomorrow night, and then we're going to, Saturday is going to be more like a normal day for us. So anyways, is he still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. I heard a weird noise and I thought it went quiet. So, all right. So tell us, last week we talked about your vehicle situation, the need that you have for a vehicle so you can get out to Padang. Go ahead and tell us what's going on with that.
Well, as you know this, of course, after last week talking to me, someone in the church, I guess, gave the money for us to be able to meet the need to get that vehicle. So we are working on that process right now. The vehicle that we're wanting to buy, we're actually going to be able to get possession of it tonight and try it out, going to the orphanage tomorrow just to see how we like it, and then decide from there. I've never actually driven or anything. That's why they're allowing us to use it for a full day so we can see how we like it. So, but I think most likely we'll end up buying that vehicle. So
Good.
we're very thankful for that, by the way, from Lincoln Baptist Church. They're helping us get through that money. So
I'm glad, listen, the Lord works in special ways. And a preacher knows this, of course. And last week we had the interview. And right after the interview, somebody called me and they said, listen, we want to know exactly how much he has left that he needs. And so then on Friday they came and they brought a check for the amount that he needed to be able to get a car, get a vehicle. And so praise the Lord for that. And the Lord always takes care of the needs that we have. So praise the Lord. All right, go ahead and I know last week we went all over what's going on in Padang and the Baptist mission and everything there, but go ahead and just give us a brief summary for those who weren't watching last week with us about what y'all are doing in Padang.
Padang is about an hour and 20 minutes from where we live. And we are currently going there on Saturdays. We teach discipleship lessons to the kids, and actually some of the neighbors and adults from around there come and listen. And we've, of course, started with just preaching the gospel, and then we actually started teaching discipleship lessons. We just go through the gospel continually, bringing it back up and bringing each lesson back around to the gospel, because there's still so many there that aren't even saved. Many of them come from a different type of background, of course, than many people in America do. So some are Buddhists. A lot of them are animists. And we talked about that last week, I know. But so we're working on that. Then very soon we'll be going out there on Sundays and holding services on Sunday. We actually established it like a mission work now. And the only thing keeping us from going on Sunday right now is the vehicle situation. So I think within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to start going out there on Sundays. And the Lord's going to do some great things. We're going to next Saturday go, not tomorrow, but the next Saturday, we've got a soul winning time planned while we're out in that area and try to see how that goes. Going, it wouldn't be door to door there, but more like gate to gate. In Thailand, you don't go up to someone's door. You stop at their gate. Most every driveway has a gate. You go to the gate, and a lot of times there's a doorbell out there, not in the country out there. There may not be. I don't know. Here in town, there's a doorbell usually at the end of every gate. But you either ring the doorbell, or you can maybe shake the gate, or you say in Swati Club, which is like saying hello. And if they come out to talk, fine, or if they invite you in, fine. But if you just walk into the yard, that's considered to be like breaking into somebody's house. So you typically don't want to do that. But that's what's going on out there, and we're excited. So
then I know last week y'all had your first baptism service. We showed that on Sunday at church, and we showed it on the broadcast this last week on the Coffee with Pastor broadcast. But to kind of walk us through what the baptism day was like on Friday, and then also how things went last Saturday, because I know y'all went back last Saturday, did some work at the orphanage there.
Yes. Well, we went on Friday morning because it's actually a durian farm is what it is. I found out it got kind of a little side, they call it a resort. I think it's called Orchard Palaloo Resort or something like that. But anyway, the man that runs the orphanage, Brother Sampson, knows the people who run this. They're not necessarily Christian people; they're Thai people, but run a durian farm there. That's their main business, and most of that area is all farming. Even though it's a jungle area that's farming, they farm things. But they have a kind of a resort part to their farm, and it has a large swimming pool. So they allowed us to use that to baptize in. And so we went over there to do that. Unfortunately, when we were going to be getting in, you wouldn't have seen that on the video, but I slipped and fell. First time ever in head first. So this is the first time I ever baptized where my whole body was soaking wet from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. But I don't think you could tell that on the video. My wife said she couldn't tell. So
no, we couldn't.
Y'all church family, so I'll tell you about it. But we didn't advertise that to everybody. So.
So then now y'all saw some people saved on Saturday over there, right?
Yes, we did. There actually was some newcomers to, well, one of them is one that's been there, I guess. He's a Buddhist boy that I guess he's about age 15 that had not gotten saved yet, and he got saved on Saturday. And then there was three boys. They all, I think I might have sent you a picture, Pastor. They were all three dressed alike in their yellow friend shirts. But they had just come from a refugee camp in Ratchaburi, and they had the two of the boys were twins and one a cousin. Now they all look like they're about 7 years old, but they're actually 11 years old. And they had come, and their mother the mother of the twins anyway was their caretaker, and she had passed away. And so because of that, they couldn't stay in the refugee camp. They had to get somebody that could take care of them. So a relative, I guess, had asked Brother Sampson there at the orphanage if he could take care of them. And he at first had told them no because they're too overfull already. But then he said he changed his mind and he took them in. And so anyway, they did trust Christ as their Savior. And I guess the mother was supposed to have been a Baptist. So, there was some background there similar. Sometimes the Kren people are Baptist like that or have a Baptist background. So anyway, but the boys weren't saved, and at the invitation time, they came forward to trust Christ. And so we were thankful for that, and they seemed like very nice boys. A little sad situation there about the mother losing their mother like that. But so that's what happened last Saturday.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go on to here, and we got several questions that are not ministry-based necessarily. They're just about Thailand, and people are curious about, so the city you live in, y'all live in Hue Hin, is that correct? Hua Hin?
That is correct.
Is it Hue Hin or Hua Hin?
Yes, Hua Hin.
Hua Hin, okay.
It's Hua Hin.
Hua Hin. All right, so how would you describe the city that you live in?
It's a coastal city. It sits right off the coast here. It is very, now if you Google it says about 50-some thousand people, but you drive around town and I mean, it doesn't seem like 50-some thousand people. It seems more like maybe 250,000 people, but it's very busy. And the thing is that out here you go outside of town and it's very crowded too. So I don't know how they figure 53 or 54,000 people.
Is it that busy because of the tourism?
Well, that's part of it, but there's not a lot of tourists here right now. They want to come back in, but because of the COVID thing, a lot had left.
Oh, that's true.
They weren't letting anybody back in. They just opened up international flights, but even right now, regular tourists can't come. Only somebody who perhaps had some type of a work visa or something like that, or they had some other type of business reason for coming here. Now, I think that'll change in the next month or two. They're saying by September it should be all opened up entirely for tourism, everything. So it sounds like it'll get back to normal. Our city is a coastal city. Now, the area where we go minister is different. It's an hour and 20 minutes in towards the Burma border, so that's a jungle area. It's nothing like what our city here is like. So kind of two different worlds. We live over here in part because we go to the language school. That's the biggest reason why. The Dang area wouldn't have any language schools. So, and our visas are connected to the language schools.
So how is the language learning coming there with Thai?
It's coming good. It's coming good. It's a process. We've been at it for almost 4.5 months, 5 months now. And our teacher actually was here on Sunday afternoon. We had our teacher to our house. We had gotten a puppy a while back. And that's a whole nother story there why we got one, but there's several reasons really. But anyway, she wanted to see the puppy always, and we thought that would be a good opportunity to have her to our house where we could try to witness to her. And so she came over to our house, and she actually brought her older sister with her. And so anyway, she had actually gotten saved, so that was great. We were able to present the gospel to her and her older sister. And she had told us, or her older sister told us that her sister told us that, which is the teacher, Krugan, that we are actually doing very well for how long we've been studying it. So she said better than most students. So I feel like it's going well, but we're not fluent or anything like that. We can maybe ask some things from people. I've ordered several times at restaurants in Thai, and they understood me. So that's kind of a good place to maybe test it out a little bit, see if you can get them to understand you. So, so it's going well. And we were thankful our teacher and her sister got saved also.
Good. Praise the Lord. So we know you have a dog, and but what other kind of animals? I think that if I remember correctly, and I may be wrong on this, but I was thinking some of the other animals around is why you have the dog. Is that right?
Yes, we were having a problem with rats in the house and snakes in the yard. And we were told if you get a dog, that helps eliminate those problems. So we had one rat that, had gotten in the house, and I don't know if we had any others. But when we called the exterminators, they kept asking if we had a dog. Friends of ours kept asking if we had a dog, and we say no. And they said, well, if you have a dog, they said you don't usually have rats. So because the rats won't come in because they can smell the dog. So, or the dog will catch them and kill them. Now, our dog's a little too small probably to be killing these rats if they came in. But we haven't had any more problems with rats. And so I said I didn't want to get a dog, but I told my family they wanted a dog. I said no. And then it happened. I said I'd rather have a dog than rats in my house. So let's get a dog.
So what kind of dog is it that y'all got again?
It's a Sheltie.
Okay.
As you know, in America, we have well, Sarah takes care of it now. So, but I guess we still consider it our dog. But it's a Australian Shepherd. Mm-hmm. But the house that we rent, the landlord said that we could only have a small dog. And they were saying that an Australian Shepherd would get too big. Well, we wanted to get a miniature Australian Shepherd then, but you can't get those anywhere in Thailand, and it costs way too much money and be too difficult to try to bring one from America. So we found a breeder in Thailand that breeds Shelties. It's not exactly a miniature collie, but it's kind of like that. It's a herding type dog, but they stay small. And so this dog that's the type it is, and it's going to stay small enough to meet the qualifications of what the landlord wants.
So what other kind of animals do you guys see around or are around the area where you are?
We've seen on a couple of occasions right outside our village a water monitor, and they can get very large. We've seen a very large one, and we've seen some smaller ones. But we have, you keep your distance from them. I guess I've heard other missionaries say that they've had water monitors in their yard. And one missionary that used to be here actually had a dog get injured by one because the water monitor typically is not aggressive where they'll come and attack you. But if the dog cornered them or something, it would attack. And what they do is they use their tail to fight with. They say their tail hitting you is like the equivalent of being hit with a baseball bat. So So if we see one, we want to keep our distance. So
Now, just to clarify, an Asian water monitor is not a snake. That's more like it's a lizard, more like almost like a Komodo dragon,
Yes.
but smaller. Correct?
yes, in fact, it's in that same category as far as being related to, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know you sent me a picture of one a while back. Then, of course, y'all have the elephants that you have to worry about on the way to Padang, but you probably don't see those much around the city, I imagine.
Not well, you do, but they're tame. They've got a handler with them. They have a place here in town where you can actually go ride elephants if you want to. We haven't done that. We haven't actually. I've never ridden an elephant. I don't care to, maybe when I was a kid in the zoo or something. But my wife in the past, when we visited here, has ridden an elephant. And so it's something that you can do here, but when you see them around town here, they're tame ones that got a handler with them, completely under control. So, and then you do see, snakes. We've had snakes in the yard. They have cobras here. They have 60 some odd venomous snakes in this area, but 30 of them are deadly. So the key is if you see a snake, keep your distance because you may not know what it is, if it's deadly or not. So.
Oh my! So I hate snakes. I knew I'd heard about the king cobras. I know there are y'all have different kinds of python there too, as well as boa constrictors. That's what I'm thinking of. Correct?
Yes, I've heard that. I haven't seen any. We don't have any. I mean, where we live is a little bit out of town. We do live in what's considered Wahin, but we live a couple miles out, kind of in the country a little bit. So it's a little bit jungle-ish where we're at too. It's not really a jungle like it is where Padang is, but it's some like wilderness trees around us and stuff like that. So that helps add to the creatures out here sometimes. But we do have exterminators regularly come once a month, and they actually started putting some stuff down for snakes, and so it seems like it's helped. And of course, now we have the dog too. I've never heard that a dog repels snakes, but some other people said that, so I don't know. I can believe the bit with the rats in the house, and it seems like it has kept them out. So.
I suppose if you see a snake in the yard, you could put some armor on your dog and send him out.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's kind of like yours. The only good snake's a dead snake. So
yes,
we don't want them in our yard, and definitely don't want to get bit by one if
they say gardener
poisonous.
snakes in the garden are good. I think I'd rather deal with what the gardener snakes take care of. Anyways, all right. So hey, what kind of food do they eat in Thailand? Do you guys eat American food in Thailand, or do you have a Thai dish that you like?
Well, I do like some Thai food, and once in a while we'll eat it. Pakapao moo is something I like. That is, pakapao is a Thai basil stir fry, and moo is pork. So they call it pakapao moo. It is something I like. We eat a lot of pork, a lot of chicken as far as our house. My wife cooks American food. Sometimes Mexican food. We have tacos some, but we don't have beef a lot. Beef is extremely expensive here. In fact, all groceries are very expensive here. If you buy it at a regular supermarket type store like you'd shop at in America. Now, if you want to go down to where the Thai people usually shop in the open air markets and so forth, but you can't trust the meat down there. So we don't go down there and buy meat in those places. You can buy some vegetables down there, things like that if you want to. And they're probably a little cheaper, but the vegetables in the stores aren't super expensive here, but the meat is. And so we rarely have beef. And I can remember all the years when I pastored, we'd sometimes have some Karen folks from the church over to our house, and we would have steak, like chuck steak or something. And they would love it because they say when they were in Thailand, they could never get or Burma, either one, they could never get the beef much. And I just thought it was hard to come by, but I don't know if it's hard to come by so much as it's so expensive. And it costs like triple what it would cost in America, or even quadruple. So we rarely ever have anything like that.
So shifting a little bit to Thailand itself, rather than just the area you're at, tell us about the political structure of Thailand. I know it's a kingdom, but tell us how that is.
It is a monarchy, and the king does have a lot of say. And so you don't criticize the king here. which we never do. I mean, we wouldn't have any reason to criticize the king. But if somebody speaks against the king, it can be thrown in jail for 30 days, 60 days. The king can have someone thrown in jail if he so desires for some reason. And so it is in some ways a full-fledged monarchy, but at the same time, there is like a prime minister and so forth, and a lot of different cabinet positions, things like that. And a lot of that's controlled by the military. There was a military coup some years back, and they overthrew some people. Not as far as the royal family. The royal family is very much entwined in everything. Even the flag itself here. There's 3 different colors on the flag. The blue part, or some people call it purplish blue, but I just call it blue usually. But the blue part represents the royal family. And so it's intertwined. The white part of the flag actually represents Buddhism, which is intertwined in society also. And then the red part actually represents one blood. The Thai consider themselves one blood, and that they're strengthened by that one blood being together. And so that's actually what their flag represents. But the royal family is weaved into that. So, but it doesn't seem to be a bad system overall. As far as how things are, and we don't obviously get involved in political things here, and I don't have any desire to. But overall, it seems like the setup works for them, I guess.
So speaking of talk about the one color of the flag, the white, stands for Buddhism. Tell us about how dominant is the Buddhist religion in Thailand? I know it's very dominant, but tell us how you see that.
Well, 95% of everyone here that's Thai is Buddhist. That's statistically speaking. The area where we're working at, actually, of course, there's Buddhists there as well. And probably the Buddhist is predominant there as well. The connection we're into is through the orphanage. And we haven't been out doing much soul winning out there as far as the houses around and so forth. They're probably going to be Buddhist people in those houses. But I do know that animism is practiced a lot. Out there, and animism is actually something that's older than Buddhism, although many principles of animism are weaved into Buddhism, with the reincarnation beliefs and so forth, very similar there. So, but it's throughout society. I mean, you can't go downtown. You can't go anywhere here. I mean, even the village we live in, there's just around the corner from us, there's spirit houses, and spirit houses is where the food and water and so forth out in the morning to appease the evil spirits. And they've got a big one by the front gate of our village here, and they put that out there, and the dogs come up and eat it, And there's a lot of stray dogs everywhere. Soy dogs. They all look about the same. They're Thai dogs. And so anyway, that's who actually eats that food, not the spirits, but because I've seen them eating it before. But it's everywhere. It's weaved throughout society. You can't go anywhere without seeing evidence of it.
Is that where you send your dog out to go eat her breakfast?
Oh no, those dogs don't like my dog. So we stay. The village we live in, they call it a village. It's a gated community. We have a gate, and so those dogs aren't allowed in. And we don't take our dog out, at least not on foot. Those dogs, when we walk by the front gate, sometimes they stick their head in and bark and growl and whatnot. So they don't care for our dogs. So we don't want our dog to get hurt. So we don't take our dog out there with them.
All right. So I got right about 3 minutes left here, probably. But we just have one last question here. What makes you believe that there's an open door to reach the kingdom of Thailand?
The people are open. I think the people are hungry. I think the people, they're looking for hope. It's like anybody's looking for hope. And they've followed all these things here, and it hasn't brought them any hope. And a lot of it's just done, ritualistically, because it's what they do and it's what they've been taught from the time they're small. And it's just what they do. There's a lot of things that center around the temple. And we actually visited the temple a while back, just to see what it's like. And it's very much a festive carnival type atmosphere, so forth, of, people selling things, selling trinkets, selling food, selling things, and then they go up and they pray to the Buddha, or they burn their incense and all that, took a few pictures. But the people overall are very friendly, but they're very much, just don't know anything different. So a lot of times you can get them to let you present them the gospel. we were so thankful. Our teacher got saved the other day, and her sister, but her sister likes church because when she was little, a long time ago, she said it was like 30 some years ago, she actually went to church for a whole year. Some American missionaries were here and was teaching the Bible, and she had never been saved, but she liked church because of that and was very interested to see what we had to say. And the one interesting thing, I know you've got to close this down, but the concepts of Buddhism does not teach, or Buddhism does not teach, the concepts of heaven and hell. But yet most Thai people know there's a heaven, they know there's a hell. Now, how do they know this if that's not taught in Buddhism? That's all they've been taught. The thing is that the truth of God and his word has come to these people, even in that form, to where they know and have heard of those things. They just don't know how to get to heaven. And so they just need to be told. And it does take some time sometimes because they don't understand all the things that we do. And sometimes they don't even know creation. You've got to teach them that. It's kind of a basic thing sometimes to us, but it's something that these people have never heard of. So anyway, it's I believe open, and the opportunities here. Just for the longest time, there was hardly any missionaries ever came here, and that's because the concept in people's minds, or the thought in people's minds, was that this place isn't open because it's so dominated by Buddhism. So there's no point in going here because the people won't be receptive. But I think God can open any door, so you just have to follow his leading.
Yes. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for sharing your time. I know you were with us just about half an hour, and we appreciate that very much, and we'll look forward to doing it again sometime.
Yes. Well, thank you, and we sure appreciate y'all's help to help us be here, so it's a blessing.
All right. Have a good night. Good morning.
Yes, you too.
Good day. All right. Go ahead.
Everybody's just starting, yes.
And all right, we are back. And anyways, so praise the Lord. Thank you to Preacher for sharing his time with us. And yes, I agree. St. Emu, you can eat water monitors if you like to, but no. So, all right, hey, we are going to move right along to our game. It is our Patriot Edition tonight, and we are going to begin right now.
You are the last party in the conference.
All the questions, all 10 questions this evening are going to be about America in honor of our 244th birthday. So get your fingers warmed up, get ready to go. Here is question number 1. I've got a Chick-fil-A gift card for the winner tonight, and I've got their name. We'll go in a drawing for a New Testament, and we have got that ready to go. So question number 1, what year was the Declaration of Independence signed? What year was the Declaration of Independence signed? You've got 30 seconds. Go. All right, we're back. I see the answers rolling in. We are going to go ahead and reset the random number generator really quick here. And I see the correct answer, yes, is 1776. So I see Miss Tammy Painter is the first one, Miss Elizabeth the second one, Miss Lynn Painter the third one, Miss Sherwood the fourth one, Brother Ham, number 5, and Mrs. Looper, number 6. Mrs. Ham was number 7, and the random number generator says number 4 is the winner. So, Miss Sherwood, you have got the first point. Good job. All right, moving on to question number 2. I'm going to tell you right now, that was the easy question, okay? They are going to progressively get harder as we go. Number 2, what state's capital is Topeka? What state's capital is Topeka? You've got 30 seconds. Go. I'm seeing the answers rolling in. Yes, the correct answer is Kansas. And we're going to take our top 7 answers. It looks like Miss Tammy Painter is 1, Miss Deborah Painter is 2, Mrs. Ham is number 3, Mrs. Looper is number 4, Miss Faith is number 5, and Miss Sarah was number 6. And the random number generator says number 3. Number 3 is the winner. So, Mrs. Ham, you have a point. You have a point. All right. I'm going to tell you tonight, you might have to get your good friend Google out to help you. I'm not quite sure. But on the Liberty Bell, there is a word that is misspelled. No, it's not Liberty. On the Liberty Bell, there is a word that is misspelled. What word is it? You got 30 seconds. Go. We are back. I'm looking for the answers to come rolling in. We're still waiting for answers. I see 2 answers so far. And ironically, they're both misspelled. All right, yes, I've got 7 answers. The correct one is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. So Miss Debbie was number 1. Mrs. Looper was number 2. Miss Tammy Painter was number 3. Miss Rebecca Painter was number 4. Miss Marcia was number 5. And Miss Elizabeth was number 6. And Miss Sarah was number 7. And the winning number by the generator is number 4. So Miss Rebecca, you have a point. So far, Miss Sherwood has 1. Mrs. Ham has 1. And Miss Rebecca has 1. And I want to know this, and I know we're getting ready to come to another question, but really quick, I want to know if you were able to get that without looking at the Google, without having to look it up. Just throw your name in there, just say, I did it without it or whatever, you know. I want to know if anybody got that one and knew it off the top of their head without having to go look it up. While you're putting that in there, here's question number 4. Which state has the largest landmass in the country? Which state has the largest landmass in our country? You got 30 seconds. Go. And there is a split. There is a split in the answer. So I'm going to tell you which one is the correct one here quick. Here in a minute, once we get a few more answers in, I'm going to give you a chance to get your answers in. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the top 3, and 2 of them are on here. Top 3. And we have got the top three are Texas, Alaska, and California are the top three states by land mass. And we've got some answers here. And I'm going to tell you, why don't we hit the random number generator quick? Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's resetting. We're going to reset it again. Okay, that's good right there. All right, the correct answer is Alaska. Alaska. I've got Miss Debbie is the first Alaska. Miss Tammy Painter is the second Alaska. Brother Ham is the third Alaska. Mrs. Ham is the fourth Alaska. And Miss Elizabeth is the fifth Alaska. Alaska is the correct answer. And the random number generator says number 4. And no, we did not cheat. It came up with number 7 before, but I don't have any number 7 answer. So we reset it, and number 4 is the winner. So Mrs. Ham, you have got your second point. So the score is Mrs. Ham has 2, Miss Sherwood has 1, and Miss Rebecca has 1. We're going to move on now to question number 5. If Alaska is the largest state by landmass, which is the smallest? Which is the smallest state by landmass? You've got 30 seconds. Go. And the answers are rolling in. And I should have mentioned this, and I learned this several years ago. I'm still waiting for answers to come in. The state of Alaska is the largest one. The state of Alaska literally is almost half the size of the entire United States. So it is by far the largest country, or largest state, in the country. So massive state, massive. And all right, the correct answer is Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Let's see here. I've got 1. Miss Elizabeth is number 1. Brother Ham is number 2. Miss Lynn Painter number 3. Miss Marcia's number 4. Miss Debbie is number 5. Miss Tammy Painter number 6. Miss Rebecca is number 7. And the random number generator says number 7. So Miss Rebecca, you now have 2 points. So Mrs. Ham has 2. Miss Rebecca has 2. And Miss Sherwood has 1. So we are going to roll on now to question number 6. Which state has the most people in it? Which state has the most people in it? You've got 30 seconds. Go. We are back. We are back. We are back. Hey, I see some answers are just starting to come in, and oh my goodness, there is a mix of answers. California, New York, California, New York, New York, New York, California, California, New York. Go ahead and hit, okay, you've already reset the random number generator, so we've got that. I'm going to give you like 2 more seconds to answer here. New York, California. All right, we're going to go ahead and go down. The correct answer is California. So I have 1. Miss Debbie was number 1. Mrs. Ham was number 2. Miss Rebecca was number 3. And Mrs. Looper was number 4. And Brother Ham was number 5. The random number generator says number 2 is the winner, number 2. So that would be Mrs. Ham. Good job, Mrs. Ham. You now have 3 points. Mrs. Ham has 3 points. Miss Rebecca has 2. Miss Sherwood has 1. And we are moving over to question number 7. Which state has the least amount of people in it? Now, I have to admit, I was surprised by this one. Which state has the least amount of people in it? You've got 30 seconds. Go. Some answers wrong. Yes, I apologize. I missed Mrs. Painter, but she was not in the top two, so it didn't affect the winner. But yes, Mrs. Painter, just for the record, she got California right. All right, the correct answer is Wyoming. Wyoming. So we have got Miss Debbie was number 1, Miss Lynn Painter number 2, Miss Tammy Painter number 3, Miss Elizabeth number 4, Mrs. Ham number 5, Mrs. Looper number 6, and Miss Rebecca was number 7. So the random number generator says number 3 is the winner. So let me see here. That is Miss Tammy Painter. You are the winner. We did not miss you this time. So Miss Sherwood has 1, Miss Tammy Painter has 1, Miss Rebecca has 2, and right now Mrs. Ham is in the lead with 3. Moving on now to question number 8. If you get this one without having to look it up, I will be absolutely shocked. What is the Mississippi state waterfowl? What is the Mississippi state waterfowl? You have 30 seconds. Go. We're back. I see one answer. I see more answers coming in. The blue herring. No, it is not the blue heron. Herring. Heron. Herein. I don't know. Whatever bird that is, it is not, if that is a bird. So, all right, the first correct answer, it is the wood duck, by the way. The wood duck. And I've never heard of a blue herring. But anyhow, now I see a couple. Now I see a couple of them coming in. Anyways, it is the wood duck. It is not just the duck. It is specifically the wood duck. And all right, Miss Debbie was the first one, wood duck. Miss Rebecca second. Miss Tammy Painter the third. Miss Elizabeth the fourth. Miss Lynn Painter the fifth. Mrs. Ham the 6th, and Miss Sarah number 7. The random number generator says number 1. So Miss Debbie, you have now got your, is that her first point? Her first point. So Mrs. Ham is still in the lead with 3. Miss Rebecca has 2. Miss Sherwood and Miss Tammy Painter and Miss Debbie Painter all have 1. All right, moving on to question number 9. Question number 9. In what year did construction on the Statue of Liberty begin? In what year did construction on the Statue of Liberty begin? You've got 30 seconds. Go. We are back on, and the answers are, I got one answer. I've got one answer so far. The mallard duck, that is not the year. All right, the correct year is 1875. 1875. Brother Looper, you're going to have to help me make sure those are not 3s, because they look like 3s to me. But I think they're all 5s, aren't they? All right, so Miss Tammy Painter is the first one, Miss Debbie the second one, Miss Sherwood the third one, Miss Rebecca the fourth one, Miss Lynn Painter the fifth one, and Miss Elizabeth number 6, and Miss Sarah number 7, and the random number generator says number 5. So Miss Lynn Painter, you have got a point. So Miss Sherwood has 1, Miss Lynn Painter has 1, Miss Debbie has 1, Mrs. Tammy Painter has 1, Miss Rebecca has 2, and Mrs. Ham has 3. We're coming down to the last question. The last question, all right? Should I make this one like worth multiple points? Like whoever gets this one gets 5 points and wins? Mrs. Ham is like, no! All right. Anyways, question number 10. This is worth 1 point, folks, 1 point. That would be an interesting dynamic, though, to add points to the questions. We're going to have to think about that, maybe. All right. Number 10. What is the state flower for the state of Alaska? What is the state flower for the state of Alaska? You have got 30 seconds. Go. I can tell that somebody Googled this right here because scorpion grasses is what comes up on the top of Google, but that is not the answer that I'm looking for. I have no idea what that is, but there's a more common name for that flower, and that's what we are looking for. Y'all are telling off on yourselves, those of y'all that Googled it, which is probably everybody. But I can tell right now who Googled it and took what was at the top or who actually scrolled down and read a little further down. Ask me how I know. I had to Google it. All right. We have got answers, but man. Oh, someone deleted their answer. Can you do that? Oh, I know you can. Shouldn't you be allowed to? All right. We got the numbers set. Is that the refresh number? Okay. We have got the number. Do I? We have 7 now. All right. So the correct answer I was looking for is the forget-me-not. The forget-me-not. So Miss Rebecca was the first one. Mrs. Looper was the second one. Miss Tammy Painter, the third one. Miss Sarah, no, she had the wrong one. Miss Elizabeth, the fourth one. Mrs. Ham, the fifth one. Brother Ham, the 6th one. Oh, reverse that. Brother Ham, the 5th one. Mrs. Ham, the 6th one. And Miss Sarah was number 7. So the random number generator says that number 6 gets the point, number 6. So Mrs. Ham, she's got another point. So with that, she seals her victory in tonight's Patriot edition of the Soul Winners Hour. So Mrs. Ham, you have got the $5, they are $5, right? Yes, $5 Chick-fil-A gift card, and your name will go into the drawing for the New Testament. So we've got Miss Tammy Painter won last week for the new round, and we started over again, remember? So Miss Tammy Painter's name is in the drawing, and Mrs. Ham's name is in the drawing. Hey, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and get ready to sign off. I hope that you have a safe 4th of July, and we will see you on Sunday in church. Don't forget to watch Coffee with Pastor tomorrow morning at 9:30, and tonight. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. God bless. Have a great night.
Then said he also to him that bade him, When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, nor thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed. For they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. He walked the shores of Galilee, made lame to walk, made blind eyes see. From town to town he touched each soul, cleansed their lives and made them whole. So call the poor, call the lame, call the weak, call the maimed. Jesus will heal and help and save. Call the poor, that's why he came. To know his will, our highest prize, and knowing him, we realize to be like him and love him